circulated to all members will underpin how this meeting is conducted. Just as a reminder, the chat facility is to be used only to ask questions or to join debate. And please mute your microphones when not talking, please. So item 1, apologies, please. Mr. White.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With apologies for this afternoon's meeting from, in alphabetical order, Councillor Coulson, Councillor Hayworth, Councillor Ridges, Councillor Spettigue, and Councillor Yelland. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Item 2, declarations of interest. I invite members to declare any personal or disclosable pecuniary interest. Any declarations will need to state if the interest is personal or a disclosable pecuniary and the nature of that interest. There's no one typing, so I assume there's no one who has interest. So item 3, business brought forward by the Mayor. We have one item to be brought forward by me relating to the Abbey Car Park. Can I ask Councillor Pearce to introduce this report, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, members and officers. As you will remember, at a meeting of the full council on 28th of April 2020, it was agreed to defer the pay and display review for further consideration following the COVID-19 pandemic. It is recommended, after reviewing the range of current tariffs in different car parks, that the Abbey Car Park is changed from a long stay to a short stay car park to increase turnover of vehicles as identified within the Tavistock Parking Survey. Now, as a number of members will remember, we were putting together a package for changes in a number of our towns, and it was deferred on that decision on the 28th of April. But we are now in a situation where the Abbey Car Park in Tavistock is required to change from long stay to short stay to support the core retail core of Tavistock Town. Everything else that was in that original package is on hold. So the changes for Oakhampton, Hatherley and Chagford are still on hold. Right, it is recommended after reviewing the range of current tariffs, the Abbey Car Park has changed from long stay to short stay to increase turnover of vehicles identified within the Tavistock Parking Survey. It is recommended that parking permits are no longer valid for use in the Abbey Car Park, with the exception of Dolvin Road resident permit, to reflect the change from long stay to short stay. Following the survey conducted, there is a view that there is a requirement to allow more flexibility in the use of car parks in Tavistock. The survey identified the requirement for Abbey Car Park to be changed from long stay to short stay to provide short stay car parking and increased turnover of vehicles at its location within the town. This outcome will also support the businesses as we all recover from COVID-19 by providing increased town centre footfall and in turn economic vibrancy. As Abbey Car Park is currently a long stay car park, permits are valid for use within this car park. However, should the car park change to short stay car park, there is a requirement that permits no longer be valid in this car park, with the exception of the Dolvin Road permits, where the council currently has an obligation to provide permits to specific residents. We currently have 23 Tavistock Town Centre permits issued, which are valid not only in the Abbey Car Park, but also Bedford Car Park, upper levels of Brook Street and Riverside. Consultation has been undertaken with key stakeholders and ward members, where the changes have been discussed and comments taken on board prior to arriving at the final proposal ahead of the formal public consultation. It is anticipated that the recommended amendments to the pay and display charge will result in increased turnover in car park spaces and better availability of parking for mainly shoppers, but also visitors. The new changes will be monitored closely by officers. Options available in consideration of risk. If customers wish to object to the pay and display amendments, they will have the opportunity to do so formally during a 21-day public consultation exercise due to commence in August 2020. Objections will be considered prior to implementation of any changes. Appendix A shows the revised pay and display tariff. Now, the short stay charges, if we approve this today, it will reflect the short stay charges in our other car parks, which are short stay. So there's no increase in the short stay charges. It's just the conversion from long stay to short stay. The reason for making these recommendations is from the findings of survey, where it was expressed that there was a strong desire to promote increased turnover in the Abbey Car Park, with a wish for a short stay tariff to be available. Therefore, the recommendations are as set out. The council has recommended to item 1, change Abbey Car Park from the long stay to a short stay car park. Item 2, no longer allow parking permits to be valid for use in Abbey Car Park, with the exception of Dolvin Road residents. Now, I understand there are some Abbey permits which are specifically for this car park, and I will call on Emma Widdicombe to clarify this, because I think the idea that has been put forward is that we allow those specific permits to run their time until they expire, but then they won't be renewed for Abbey. It will just be for the Dolvin Road residents. And item 3, make consequential changes to the council's off-street parking places order 2015. I also add that the parents whose children go to Dolvin Road School will still be able to use the car park for dropping their children off at school. That's something that we will continue to do, as we have done in the past. I don't know if Emma is available to clarify the situation on the few permits that are specifically for Abbey, apart from Dolvin Road residents.
Yeah, I'm here, Councillor Pearce. So we have, of the 23 permits that we've issued for Tavistock Town Centre, currently those Tavistock Town Centre permits are valid in Bedford, upper levels of Brook Street, Riverside and Abbey. So of those ones that we've already issued, we would let them still continue to use the Abbey car park until their permits expired. So we would honour those permits being valid in that car park, and then it would just be new applications going forward that then wouldn't be valid in Abbey. Obviously, Dolvin Road is a different arrangement, and they would continue to use Abbey Car Park as normal.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you for that clarification. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't think there's anything else I need to enlighten members on. I think it's up to you to ask for questions, or I'm quite happy to answer any questions. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Questions, please. I've got a couple. Councillor Sellis, please.
Thanks. Mine's been answered, Mr. Mayor. It was relating to the parents at St Rumans, and I'm comforted that they'll be okay, as will other permit holders. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Moody.
The same question. The parents of the St Rumans School, would it be advisable to slightly amend part 2 to include, with the exceptions of Dolvin Road residents and parents of children going to St Rumans School, or is that not necessary?
Personally, I don't think that's necessary. I think if we send a note to Dolphin Road School, so they've got it when they start in September, so they can advise all the parents.
I'm just concerned, Councillor Pearce, that what we're actually voting on today is to disallow parking permits in that car park, with the exception of only Dolphin Road residents. I think we should include the parents dropping off children to school, just to be on the safe side, so everyone knows exactly where they are.
I don't think I will ask the officer for clarification on this, because I don't think the parents actually have permits as such. But I will.
Right. Okay. It might just be a terminology.
Yeah.
We do issue school permits, so they're just sort of paper permits that the school administer. So they do have paper permits they do display in their vehicles.
Right. Okay. So we ought to include them then at item 2, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. White, are you happy to amend item 2 in the recommendation?
I'll type that in now, Councillor Pearce.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pearce.
Thank you very much. Councillor Moyes, please.
Yes, I don't quite understand the tariffs, because I thought Councillor Pearce said there wouldn't be any increase, but you were paying £2.50 all day, and now you're paying £3 for 4 hours. I know that's a sort of slightly back step from what I'm saying, but I don't quite understand why that isn't an increase.
Right. What I was meaning was, obviously I didn't explain it very well, is that the short stay tariff will be the same as all the other short stay car parks in Tavistock. So we are changing from a long stay to a short stay with a maximum of 4 hours, which reflects the other short stay car parks in Tavistock.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Ewins, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just in answer, St Brumans, the permits are issued from 10 to 9 to 10 past 9, and from 10 to 3 to 10 past 3 in the afternoon. So they are literally only allowed to be there for 20 minutes to pick the children up or drop them off mornings and afternoons. And as Emma has said, that they are just paper permits that just go in the front of the car, and they do specify, or they did specify, the timings that those permits are relevant to.
And you're correct, Councillor Ewings. Yeah, that is the case, that they do state the times on it.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Emma. I think I see no reason to change those, actually. You know, the timing can stay on there, and you know, there won't be any change for the parents in using the car park. They can carry on as they are.
I just say they've been doing it for well over 20 years, because Alice went there 20 years ago. So, and the scheme has always worked well. And people, if they stay too long, they have been given tickets by our officers. So, you know, they are there, and there's a reason, and people should abide by those timings. Otherwise, they're ticketed.
Yeah. Okay, Councillor. Thank you for that.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we had no intention of changing anything for the parents of the children at Dolphin Road. So, I mean, you know, the way that it's been operating in the past will carry on in the future for the time being anyway.
But you're happy that it's been added into item 2 of the recommendations, just sort of belt and braces?
Yes, I mean, to save any confusion that there might arise, that we, you know, the exception of Dolphin Road residents and parents of children at St Rumans.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other questions? Nobody's typing. So can I have a proposer and a seconder for the recommendations as shown?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm propose that we adopt these recommendations and to implement them as soon as possible after the consultation has taken place.
I'm happy to second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Cheadle.
So, no more questions. We go into debate. I see I have Councillor Ewings who wants to make a comment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to be aware, I've already heard of rumblings and grumblings from a lot of the traders in town and businesses. Although it's bid that's encouraging and the town council, I believe, is supporting this motion, there's a lot of traders in the market and some of the businesses around that area that actually use that car park for all-day parking. So there may be a few rumblings and grumblings, but I will be supporting the motion. But I just thought I ought to add in that it's not all hunky-dory. But as I say, I will be supporting the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any more for debate? Councillor Moody.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I would just like to agree with Councillor Ewings that I think that and also to the lead member for that it will encourage more short-term parking for the town centre, hopefully help the local businesses, and I appreciate the slight modification to include the St. Ruman School, and I will be supporting.
Is anybody there?
Hello, yes, I am.
I am.
It's gone quiet. I think, Mr. Mayor, I think you might be on mute.
That's me again. Yes.
Were you on mute?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Ooh,
Councillor Sellis.
Twilight Zone. Yes, thanks. As you know, I don't like increases in car parking charges. I think that we need to give this a try, and I would suggest that when this is publicised, we do emphasise that it is still £2.50 all day at Bedford Car Park.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Pearce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I find it really strange that traders are grumbling that they can't park there. I mean, we get grumbles that people aren't coming into Tavistock to shop, and yet the nearest car park to the town centre, apart from the Brook Street one, but certainly the nearest one for that part of town, is a long stay, which deters people who want to park just for an hour to do some shopping. So I think, you know, we have to look at the bigger picture there. And prior to the COVID lockdown, you know, I spoke to a number of traders in Tavistock when I go in there shopping, and they were virtually unanimously in support of the car park, Abbey Car Park becoming short stay. To, you know, and if we have it as a shopper's car park, you know, for short stay, I think it will help the town centre, and that is the aim, to support the retail core even before COVID-19. And I think it's even more important now as we emerge from lockdown. You know, the traders need the support, and for them to take up the car parking spaces, I think is, you know, where shoppers could be parking, I think is rather misdirected. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any more questions? Any more for debate? No? Any amendments that anyone wants to put forward? Still nothing. Okay, thank you. So can we confirm the wording of the substantive motion, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So as per the screen, members, there's 3 parts to this recommendation. Little one that council recommended to change Abbey Car Park from a long stay to a short stay car park. Little 2, to no longer allow parking permits to be valid for use in Abbey Car Park, with the exception of Dolvin Road residents and the parents of St Ruman's school children. And Little 3, to make consequential changes to the Council's off-street parking places order 2015. That, Mr Mayor, has been proposed by Councillor Pearce and seconded by Councillor Cheadle. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Pearce, would you like a full vote here?
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, could you repeat?
Do you want a full vote, as in named vote for
Yes.
or against here?
I think so, yes, please.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. White, can you do that, please?
Thank you very much, members and Mr Mayor. So, members, we have 23 of you on the call. In alphabetical order, Councillor Ball.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Bridgewater.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Cheadle.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Crozier.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Daniel.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Davies.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Edmonds.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Ewings.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Hipsey.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Jury.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Kemp.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Kimber.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Leach.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Moody.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Mott.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Moyes.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Musgrave.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Pearce.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Ratcliffe.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Renders.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Sellis.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Southcott.
4.
Thank you. And Councillor Vashon.
4.
Thank you, members. That is therefore 23 and unanimous in favour of the motion. Thank you, members.
Thank you, Mr. White. We now move to item 4, where we will move into part 2. So if we have the exclusion of the public and the press, and
Move to part 2, Mr. Mayor.